The night was calm in the small town of Maple Ridge. The air was cool, and the stars shone brightly above the quiet houses. Sam Walker, a single dad, sat by the window of his old wooden house, sipping coffee that had gone cold hours ago. His daughter Lily was asleep in her little bed upstairs, hugging her stuffed bear tight. It was just another normal night, until the sky tore open. A blinding light flashed across the dark horizon, followed by a deep rumble that shook the ground. The coffee cup slipped from Sam's hand and shattered on the floor. He ran to the window and saw something burning across the sky, like a shooting star, only much larger and faster. Then came the crash. The sound was like thunder exploding in the forest behind his house. The lights flickered. Dogs barked across the neighborhood. A shockwave rattled the windows, and for a moment, everything went silent again. Sam's heart pounded in his chest. He grabbed his flashlight and his jacket. He knew that forest well. It was where he used to go hunting before Lily was born. Now he only went there when something strange happened, and tonight was as strange as it could get. He hesitated for a second, glancing upstairs toward his daughter's room. She was still asleep. "Stay safe, kiddo," he whispered and stepped outside. The night air was cold and smelled faintly of smoke. The forest ahead glowed with an eerie blue light that pulsed softly, like something alive. Sam walked fast, pushing, through branches and wet leaves, following the smell of burned metal. Then he saw it. In a small clearing lay a huge object half buried in the ground. A twisted shape of metal, cracked open down the middle, steam rising from it. It wasn't like any aircraft he had ever seen. The surface shimmered, changing colors like oil on water. Strange symbols glowed faintly along its side. Sam's breath caught in his throat. "What the hell?" he whispered. He stepped closer, careful not to make a sound. The air around the wreck felt heavy, humming with quiet energy. He raised his flashlight and pointed it toward the opening in the craft. Something moved inside. At first he thought it was smoke or shadow. Then a large figure crawled out, slowly, trembling, its body shaking under its own weight. Sam froze, unable to believe what he was seeing. It wasn't human. The creature was huge, tall and wide, with smooth gray-blue skin that reflected the light. Its face was soft and round, almost childlike, but its eyes were enormous and full of fear. It wore torn metallic cloth that clung to its body. One of its legs was twisted at a painful angle. The creature looked at Sam and raised its arms weakly. Its voice came out broken, trembling. "Please, don't hurt me, I can't walk." Sam's heart dropped. The voice wasn't angry or threatening. It was scared, desperate. He took a step back, unsure what to do. Every instinct told him to run. But something about the creature's tone stopped him. It sounded human. It sounded like someone begging for help. The alien fell forward, landing hard on the dirt. It groaned in pain, trying to move. Sam rushed forward without thinking, dropping his flashlight beside it. The creature's skin felt warm like fever. Its breathing was shallow. Hey, easy," Sam said quietly. "I'm not going to hurt you." The alien blinked slowly, eyes full of confusion and relief. "Help. Me," it whispered. Suddenly, a sharp noise echoed through the trees and a mechanical whine like an engine charging. Sam looked up, startled. Red lights flashed in the darkness. He ducked instinctively, pulling the creature closer. From above, a black drone dropped out of the sky. Its metal body gleamed under the moonlight, spinning with deadly precision. It scanned the area with a red beam that swept across the wreck. When the light hit the alien, the drone made a loud screeching sound and aimed its weapon. Sam didn't think. He acted. He grabbed his flashlight and hurled it at the drone. The impact knocked it off balance for a second, and the beam missed them by inches, burning a tree instead. Sam grabbed a broken branch and swung hard, smashing the drone's sensors. Sparks flew. The drone retreated, rising back into the sky. Sam breathed heavily, his hands shaking. The alien looked at him with wide eyes full of shock and gratitude. "They found me," it whispered weakly. "They will come again." "Who?" Sam asked. But before the alien could answer, Another. Sound filled the night. More engines, more drones, farther away but getting closer. Sam realized he had only two choices. Leave the creature here to die or take it with him and risk everything. He looked down at the alien, who was struggling to breathe, eyes full of pain. "All right," Sam muttered. "You're coming with me." He lifted the heavy alien with all his strength, staggering under the weight, and began to carry it toward his house as the blue light from the wreck faded behind them. The forest grew darker. The sky was silent again. But somewhere in that silence, Sam felt it. This was not the end. It was only the beginning. Sam pushed through the trees, the cold wind biting his face as he carried the heavy alien in his arms. The creature's skin was warm but trembling. It groaned softly, each breath sounding weaker than the last. The forest behind them glowed faintly blue where the ship had fallen, but that glow was fading, dying like a candle in the rain. He could still hear faint humming in the distance, the sound of machines searching. Drones. Branches snapped under Sam's boots as he ran. He didn't know where the courage came from. He was just a single dad, a man who worked at the local garage and fixed old trucks for a living. But right now, he wasn't thinking about himself. He was thinking about Lily sleeping at home, unaware that her dad was running through the dark with a real creature from the stars in his arms. The alien's voice broke the silence. "They will come. Soon," it whispered. "Hide before they see you." "Who's coming?" Sam asked, panting, his muscles burning. The alien coughed, its eyes half open. "The hunters. They follow me. They smell energy. And fear." Sam didn't understand half of what that meant, but the terror in the alien's voice told him it was bad. Very bad. By the time Sam reached his barn, his arms felt like fire. He laid the alien gently on a pile of hay and covered it with an old blanket. The creature's breathing slowed, but it was alive. Its skin shimmered softly under the dim light of Sam's lantern. Lily's small voice came from the barn door. "Daddy?" Sam turned fast. His daughter stood there in her pajamas, hair messy, eyes wide with sleep. "What are you doing out here? I told you to stay in bed," he whispered. "I heard noise," she said, rubbing her eyes. Then her gaze fell on the blanket. "Is that an animal?" Sam hesitated. He knew she was smart. She'd see through any lie. "No, sweetheart," he said softly. "He's a visitor, and he's hurt. We have to help him." Lily stepped closer, curiosity replacing fear. When she lifted the blanket a little, she gasped. "Daddy, he's beautiful." The alien blinked, turning its large eyes toward her. "Little one," it whispered. "No fear. You kind." Sam gently pulled her back. "Lily, go inside. I'll explain later." But before he could say more, the barn walls shook. A deep vibration rolled through the ground. The tools hanging on the wall rattled. Outside, the wind changed direction, and with it came a low, haunting sound like metal breathing. The alien sat up weakly, eyes wide. "They are here." Sam grabbed his shotgun from the wall, old, dusty, and loaded with only a few shells. He moved to the door and looked out. In the distance, through the fog, small red lights floated between the trees. Dozens of them. They moved slowly, scanning, humming. "Drones," Sam muttered. "Like the one from before." The alien nodded weakly. "Born hunters, machines, built to find, to erase." "Erase what?" Sam asked. "Hope," the alien said softly. The first drone broke through the fog. It was bigger than the last one, its body shaped like a spider made of steel, red beams slicing through the darkness. It clicked and hissed as it scanned the barn. Sam turned off the lantern and held his breath. For a few seconds there was only silence. Then, a flash of red light. The drone had locked onto the barn. "Run!" Sam shouted. He grabbed the alien's arm, but the creature shook its head. "No. They follow heat, movement. Go. Protect the small one." "I'm not leaving you," Sam barked, but Lily's frightened cry came from the house. "Daddy." Sam froze. His heart stopped for a second. He looked at the alien. The creature nodded once. Go. I will stall. I will call them. Sam ran toward the house as the drone blasted the barn door open with a burst of energy. Wood exploded. Fire burst out and the alien roared, not in pain but in defiance. A strange blue glow rose from its body, spreading through the air like mist. The drones hesitated, confused, their scanners flickering. Sam reached the porch, pulled Lily into his arms and turned around just in time to see the barn erupt in a storm of light. Blue against red, alien against machine. And then silence. Only smoke and sparks danced in the wind. Sam carried Lily inside, locked the door, and held her close. She was shaking. What's happening, Daddy? She whispered. Sam looked out the window at the burning barn, his eyes full of confusion and fear. I don't know, baby, he said quietly. But something came from the stars tonight, and it wasn't alone. Outside, in the shadows beyond the smoke, something tall and dark moved. Not a drone, not human. It watched the house silently, its eyes glowing faint orange. Then it whispered in a voice like static, "Target found. The human knows." The hunt had begun. Morning came too slowly. The sun tried to rise, but the sky was gray and heavy with smoke. The barn was gone. Only black ashes and twisted metal were left. Sam stood there in silence, his face covered in soot, his eyes tired but alert. Lily stayed inside the house watching him from the window, clutching her stuffed bear tight. The smell of burned wood filled the air. Somewhere under the ashes, Sam thought he saw a faint shimmer, the same strange blue light from last night. It flickered weakly, like a heartbeat refusing to die. Sam knelt and began digging with his bare hands. The dirt was warm, almost humming. Then, buried under the wreckage, he found it. A small silver ring with strange markings, and beside it a glowing cube the size of a human heart. It pulsed gently, every beat lighting up the alien symbols around it. He stared at it, lost for words. "What are you?" he whispered. Then he heard a weak sound, not from the cube but from behind him. A groan. Sam turned quickly. Something large moved near the fence. It was the alien, burned, bleeding, but alive. Its leg was twisted and its chest glowed faintly blue. "You survived," Sam breathed, rushing over. The creature opened one eye and gave a weak smile. He came back. Good human." Sam helped it sit up and handed it water from a bottle. The alien drank slowly, then looked at the cube in Sam's hand. "You found it," the alien said. "That is why they hunt me." Sam looked at the cube again. "What is it?" The alien's voice was soft and sad. "It is called the core of worlds. It can give life or take it. It was built long ago by my kind. The Vorn wanted it to destroy planets. I took it away," Sam frowned. "You stole it from them?" "Yes," the alien whispered. "I ran, I hid, but they found me. They always find me." Sam stared at the glowing cube, then at the creature. "So if they get this, they could destroy Earth?" The alien nodded slowly. "They could burn your sky, the same way they burned mine." Sam's stomach turned. He thought about Lily, about her laughter, her drawings on the fridge, her innocent eyes. He couldn't let anything happen to her, or to this planet. He placed the cube inside an old metal box and covered it with a blanket. "Then we'll hide it," he said. "You can rest here and I'll keep them away." The alien smiled faintly. "You are brave. For a human." "I'm not brave," Sam muttered. "I'm just a dad." That afternoon, strange men arrived in black suits. They drove shiny black cars and wore dark glasses even though the sky was cloudy. One of them knocked on Sam's door while two others looked around the property. "Good morning," said the man at the door, showing a badge Sam didn't recognize. "We're here about the meteor crash last night. Witnesses said it came down near this area." Sam forced a calm smile. "Didn't see much. Heard the boom, that's all. Maybe it landed farther north." The man's expression didn't change. "We'd like to look around anyway." Sam nodded slowly. "Sure, but the barn burned down. Nothing left but ashes." The man's eyes flicked toward the ashes. "Ashes can hide many things, Mr. Walker." Sam said nothing. He could feel sweat on his neck. After a few minutes, the men left, but not before one of them leaned close and whispered, If you find anything unusual, report it, for your own safety. Sam waited until their cars disappeared down the dirt road. Then he ran back to the barn ruins. The alien was gone. "Gorth?" Sam called quietly. "Where are you?" A voice came from behind the old tractor. "Here, hiding." The alien crawled out, its skin darker now like it could blend with shadows. Sam was amazed. "You can change color?" he asked. "Only when afraid," Gorth said softly. "Your men. They smell of the Vorn." Sam froze. "What do you mean?" "They work for them," Gorth whispered. "The Vorn control some humans now. They took their minds. They see through their eyes." Sam's blood ran cold. The men in black. The drones. The strange badge. It all made horrible sense. He looked back at the metal box where the cube was hidden. "Then we can't stay here." Gorth nodded weakly. "They will return at night. And when they do, they will not knock." As the sun fell again, Sam packed a small bag. Water, food, tools, and the cube wrapped in cloth. He helped Gorth onto an old cart and covered him with blankets. Lily peeked out from the doorway. "Daddy, are we leaving?" Sam smiled faintly, though his eyes were tired. "Just for a while, honey. We're going on a little trip." She looked at the cart and saw Gorth's glowing hand under the blanket. "Is he coming too?" Sam nodded. "Yeah, he's part of the family now." As the three of them disappeared into the dark forest, the burned ground behind them began to hum again. Quiet but real. The cube's light glowed faintly through the blanket, and far above, hidden behind the clouds, a ship moved silently across the sky. Its scanners locked onto the tiny moving dots below. The hunters had found their trail. The night was darker than usual. The moon hid behind the clouds, and the forest whispered like it was alive. Sam pushed the old cart along a narrow dirt road, every step crunching on fallen leaves. Behind him, Gorth groaned softly, wrapped in blankets to hide his glowing skin. Lily walked beside her dad, holding his hand. They hadn't spoken much since leaving home. Every sound, a snapping twig, a distant owl, even the wind, made Sam's heart race. He could feel something watching them. Finally, they reached an old cabin deep in the woods, a hunting lodge Sam's father built years ago. It was small and dusty, but strong enough to keep the cold out. Sam opened the creaky door and guided Gorth inside. Lily looked around with wide eyes. "It smells funny," she said. "That's just old wood," Sam said, forcing a smile. He didn't want her to be afraid, even though he was. He placed the glowing cube inside a metal box and buried it under the floorboards. Gorth watched him, his face pale and tired. "You hide it well," he said weakly. "But they can sense it. Soon." Sam crouched beside him. "Who are they, Gorth?" "These Vorn? Are they people?" The alien shook his head. "No, they were once like my kind. But they changed. Machines became their masters. Now they serve the void. They take worlds and remake them." Lily's small voice broke the silence. "Will they take us too?" Sam looked at her, his jaw tight. "Not while I'm alive." Hours passed. The night grew colder. Sam sat near the window, holding his rifle, eyes scanning the dark woods. Gorth rested on the floor, breathing slowly. Then it started. The sound. A deep, distant hum rolled through the forest. The same mechanical tone that haunted Sam since the crash. It was getting closer, rising and falling like a song made of fear. Sam stood up fast. "They're here." Outside, the trees swayed, though there was no wind. From above the clouds, faint red lights appeared, one, then five, then dozens. Drones. Gorth's eyes widened. "They bring—" "The Seekers." "The what?" Sam asked. "Not machines. Not alive. They smell energy. They burn everything." Lily hid behind her father. "Daddy, what's happening?" Sam's voice was calm but sharp. "Go to the cellar, sweetheart, now." She nodded and ran. Sam watched her disappear behind the wooden trapdoor, then turned to Gorth. "Can you fight?" The alien shook his head slowly. "I can barely breathe." "Then I'll do it alone," Sam said, loading his rifle. The drones descended through the trees, red beams cutting across the cabin walls. They spoke in robotic tones and short, cold sentences. "Heat detected. Lifeform confirmed. Retrieve the core." Sam shot the first drone through the window. The bullet hit its lens and it exploded into sparks. The others turned toward the noise, firing red bolts that burned holes through the wooden walls. The cabin filled with smoke. Sam ducked behind the table, reloading fast. Gorth lifted one trembling hand and murmured something in his language. The cube under the floor flickered, reacting to his voice. A low pulse spread through the room. The drones hesitated, their sensors glitching. Sam noticed. "Do that again," he shouted. Gorth closed his eyes, whispering louder. The glow spread, blue light filling the cracks of the cabin. Outside, the drones began to melt in midair, their circuits smoking. But then from the sky, something much larger descended, a ship black and silent, its shadow swallowing the forest. It hovered above them, blocking the moon completely. Sam looked up through the window and froze. The ship was shaped like a giant spear, its sides covered in red symbols that pulsed like veins. A deep voice echoed from it, not from speakers, but inside Sam's mind. "Human, give us the core, and you may keep your child." Sam's hands shook. "You're not touching her," he shouted aloud. The voice laughed, cold and cruel. "You protect the weak. How primitive." The ground cracked as something heavy landed, a tall, armored figure with long claws and glowing eyes. Its body shimmered like metal and smoke. The alien hunter. Gorth gasped. "It's him." The first Vorn. Sam aimed his rifle. "Stay back." The creature tilted its head, amused. "A human weapon? You'll need more than that." It moved fast, too fast. In one motion, it smashed the door off its hinges and stepped inside. Sam fired 3 shots, but the bullets turned to dust in midair. The hunter raised a claw ready to strike him, but then stopped. It looked toward the floor where the cube's light was glowing stronger than ever. The core was awake. The hunter growled. "So be it." In a flash of red light, it vanished, gone into thin air. The ship above pulled back into the clouds. Sam stood there, breathing hard, smoke rising around him. The cabin was half destroyed, the floor glowing faint blue. Gorth opened his eyes slowly. "You made it run," he whispered. "You don't know what that means, human." Sam turned toward him, confused and trembling. "What are you talking about?" Gorth smiled weakly. "The core, it chose you." The wind outside went still. The forest fell silent, and deep under the floor, the glowing cube began to beat, like a heart learning to live again. The world had never been so quiet. Smoke from the battle still floated above the trees. The smell of burned metal clung to the cold night air. Inside the half-broken cabin, Sam sat on the floor, holding the glowing cube in his hands. It pulsed softly, and once, twice, like it was breathing. Lily sat beside him, her small fingers tracing the blue light. "Daddy," she whispered, "it's warm. Like it's alive." Sam looked at her. "Maybe it is." Gorth rested near the window, weak but awake. His eyes glowed dimly. "The core knows you now, Sam Walker. It listens only to the one it chooses. You are linked," Sam frowned. "Linked? I'm not some chosen hero. I fix engines and mow the lawn." Gorth gave a faint smile. "You fixed me. And you faced the Vorn with nothing but courage. That is why it listened." Before Sam could answer, the cube flashed brighter, humming low like a storm trapped inside glass. The walls trembled. The air felt heavy. Lily covered her ears. "It's talking." "No," Gorth said softly. "It's warning." Outside in the distance, red lights began to move again, hundreds this time. The sky shimmered like a wound. The Vorn were coming back, angrier, stronger, and faster. Sam stood, his jaw tight. "Then we fight." He pulled out his old toolbox from the cabin corner. Wrenches, cables, broken circuits. Nothing special. But with Gorth's help, they became something new. The alien tore small silver plates from his armor and fused them with Sam's tools, sparks flying as his strange blood powered the metal. Together they built something halfway between human and alien, a weapon of survival. By dawn, Sam stood wearing a chest rig made from Vorn tech, wires glowing blue under his shirt. The cube's energy now flowed through a cable into his gauntlet. Gorth looked at him proudly. "You are ready." Sam tested the glove. A flash of light burst from his hand, shooting across the room and burning a hole through a log. He stared in awe. "You just turned me into a walking battery," Gorth chuckled weakly. "No, Sam Walker. You are the weapon now." They didn't have to wait long. The ground started shaking around noon. Trees cracked and fell as ships descended, dark, metallic, whispering like ghosts. Drones crawled across the soil, their red sensors glowing like eyes in the fog. Lily hid in the cellar, her voice trembling. "Daddy, please don't go." Sam knelt by the door. I'll come back, sweetheart. You keep the light safe, okay? She nodded, tears in her eyes. Promise? He smiled faintly. I promise. He turned and walked out into the daylight. The sky was red now, the color of war. The first drone came fast. Sam raised his gauntlet and the cube's energy pulsed through him. A blast of blue light shot out, slicing the drone clean in half. It fell, smoking. Sam blinked. His arm tingled. The cube was alive inside him, feeding him, guiding him. He didn't fully understand it, but somehow it understood him. More drones came. 10, 20, 30. Sam moved faster than he thought possible, dodging beams, firing bursts of energy, every motion stronger, sharper. Gorth limped out of the cabin, shouting, "Remember, the core feels what you feel. Stay calm or it will burn you." "I'm trying." Sam yelled back, firing again. The blast tore through another wave of drones. But then the ground opened. A massive machine rose, shaped like a serpent of black steel, eyes glowing like twin suns. It roared, sending shockwaves through the forest. Sam stumbled, the cube flickering. "That's not a drone," he breathed. Gorth's voice was shaking. "That is a war herald. A destroyer. It burns cities for breakfast." Sam clenched his fist. "Then it's about to choke." He sprinted forward, dodging fiery blasts that scorched the earth. He fired his gauntlet, hitting the creature's chest, but the energy bounced off its armor. The serpent swung its tail, throwing Sam against a tree. Pain shot through his body. The cube's light dimmed. "Sam," Gorth shouted. "It's losing sync. You must let it see your reason or why you fight." Sam coughed, forcing himself up. "My reason?" He thought of Lily, her laughter, her drawings, the way she said daddy with trust in her voice. He closed his eyes, held the cube close, and whispered, "I fight for her." The cube answered with a blinding surge of light. Sam's eyes glowed blue. Energy wrapped around him like armor made of lightning. His feet lifted off the ground. The serpent struck again, but this time Sam caught its tail mid-air and crushed it. He launched forward, punching through the monster's chest. The explosion shook the earth, sending fire and debris into the sky. When the smoke cleared, the serpent was gone. Only its molten shell remained. Sam fell to his knees, breathing hard. The cube floated beside him, pulsing softly. Gorth crawled closer, his face full of awe. "You did it. You fought the stars, and won." Sam smiled faintly, his skin glowing with the cube's energy. "Yeah," he said, looking toward the horizon where more ships gathered. "But it's not over yet." He looked back at the cabin where Lily waited underground, the only piece of peace left in his world. The Vorn would come again. They always did, but this time Earth had a guardian. Not a soldier, not a weapon, but a father with the heart of a star. The battlefield was quiet now, but the silence felt wrong. The air still shimmered with the smell of burned metal, and the trees glowed faintly blue where the cube's energy had scorched them. Sam stood in the middle of the smoke, his body shaking. The armor of light around him had faded. The cube floated above his palm, glowing softly as if waiting for his next command. His clothes were torn, his face smeared with dirt and blood, but his eyes burned with fire. Gorth crawled toward him, breathing hard. "You survived again. No human has ever taken the core this far." Sam looked at the floating light. "It feels alive. Like it knows what I'm thinking." "It does," Gorth whispered. "But be careful. The core of worlds doesn't just listen. It learns. If you lose control, it will not stop." Sam frowned. "Then I'll hold it together." "We don't have a choice," the alien nodded weakly. "No, you don't, because the one who commands the Vorn is coming." Sam turned sharply. "You mean—" "Yes," Gorth said, his voice trembling. "The Vorn commander himself. The one who hunts galaxies. He is called Vorak, and now he knows your name." Hours later, the sky split open again. The clouds turned red and black as a colossal ship descended, covering the sun. Its surface was alive with moving lights and strange symbols. It looked less like metal and more like something that had grown, like a beast wearing armor. The ground shook as it landed in the clearing. Sam stood tall, gripping the cube. Gorth sat weakly against a rock, his eyes dimming. "Remember Sam Walker," he whispered. "He feeds on fear. Don't give him any." A deep, cold voice echoed from the ship, not through air, but straight into Sam's head. "So, this is the human who defied me." The air cracked open and the Vorn commander appeared. He was enormous, tall as a small house, his body made of black steel and glowing red veins. His face was hidden behind a mask that seemed to move like liquid. Sam raised his chin. You sent your machines. You burned my home. You took my peace. Now I'm taking it back. The commander tilted his head slightly. You speak of peace, yet you hold a weapon that can end worlds. It's not a weapon, Sam said. It's hope. Hope, the creature repeated, almost amused. Your kind speaks that word often. It is weakness, Sam clenched his fists. Maybe, but it's the only thing you don't understand. The commander lifted his arm. Energy crackled in the air. Then let me teach you despair. A wave of red power burst from his hand, hitting the ground and tearing through trees. Sam raised the cube instinctively, and the light exploded from him, blocking the attack. The shockwave sent both of them flying backward. Gorth shielded his eyes. The ground split open, glowing blue and red as the two powers collided. Sam screamed as the cube sank into his chest. Not burning, but merging. His veins glowed with light. His heart raced faster, syncing with the cube's rhythm, then silence. When Sam opened his eyes, they were no longer brown. They shone like blue fire. Vorak charged, moving like lightning. His claws slashed, but Sam caught them mid-air. Sparks burst from the impact. The ground trembled beneath them. You can't stop me, the commander roared. You are flesh, I am forever. Sam gritted his teeth. Then forever ends today. He struck forward, the cube's energy bursting from his body in waves. Every punch sent ripples of blue light through the forest. The sky cracked open as energy surged upward, cutting through clouds. But Vorak was too strong. He caught Sam by the throat and lifted him off the ground. You think you can change the fate of your dying world? Sam struggled to breathe, his hands glowing brighter. I'm not trying to change fate, he gasped. I'm rewriting it. The cube pulsed once, a bright, blinding flash. The energy inside Sam erupted, surrounding both of them. The commander screamed as his armor cracked, his mask melting away to reveal a hollow black face with eyes full of fire. You cannot win, Vorak hissed. Sam's voice echoed with power, calm and strong. I already did. The explosion shook the heavens. A pillar of blue light shot upward, piercing the red clouds and splitting the ship in two. The shockwave rolled across the forest like thunder, clearing the sky. When the light faded, only silence remained. Sam fell to his knees. The cube floated before him again, now dim and soft and almost peaceful. Gorth crawled closer, coughing. You did it. You stopped him. Sam looked at the alien sadly. We stopped him. Gorth's eyes began to fade. My time ends here, human. The core will live through you. Protect it and your world. Wait, Sam said, grabbing his hand. You can't, but Gorth smiled weakly. You changed everything. Sam Walker. With that, the alien's body dissolved into blue dust, drifting away like stars in the wind. Sam watched in silence, the cube glowing faintly beside him. He whispered, I won't let your sacrifice be for nothing. The sky cleared. Sunlight touched the forest again, and as Sam stood alone in the light, the cube pulsed one last time, then sank into his chest, becoming part of him forever. The human who had once been ordinary now carried the power of a dying civilization. And in that moment he knew this was not the end of the war. It was only the beginning of a new kind of legend. The sun rose slowly over the broken forest. Smoke drifted like ghosts between the trees. The once red sky was now calm and clear, painted with morning gold. The birds were silent, as if the earth itself was trying to understand what had just happened. Sam Walker stood in the middle of the clearing, motionless. His shirt was torn, his hands covered in dried blood and glowing dust. The cube at the core of worlds and was gone from sight, but he could still feel it inside him, pulsing with every heartbeat. He could feel everything now. The wind brushing through leaves, the hum of insects, even the faint rhythm of the planet beneath his feet. It was as if the world had opened its eyes and he could finally see through them. But all that power meant nothing to him in that moment. Because Lily was gone, he dropped to his knees, exhaustion and fear crushing him. Lily, he shouted. His voice echoed across the valley. No answer. Then a small voice, weak but clear. Daddy? Sam turned so fast he almost fell. She was there, standing between the trees, barefoot, her hair messy, her face smudged with dirt but smiling through tears. Lily, He ran to her, scooping her into his arms, holding her so tight she could barely breathe. "I thought I lost you," he whispered. "You didn't," she said softly. "I saw the big light, Daddy. It was so pretty." "It looked like you," he smiled faintly. "That was me, sweetheart. Just doing what dads do." They walked together back to what was left of their home. The cabin was gone, burned to ashes. The land was quiet, but something felt different. The air was lighter, cleaner, as if the world itself had healed a little. Sam set Lily down near the old well. She looked up at the sky. "Are they gone, Daddy? The bad ones?" He nodded slowly. "For now, but they'll come again. Evil doesn't stop, it waits." She tilted her head, thinking. "Then you'll stop them again." Sam smiled, brushing her hair back. "Maybe. Or maybe someone better will." He turned to the forest, and for a second he thought he saw something. A faint shimmer of blue dust swirling in the light, forming a shape. Gorth's gentle voice echoed in his mind. "You changed everything, human. You gave the stars a reason to hope again." Days passed. The government arrived later. Men in suits, drones scanning the wreckage. They asked questions, but Sam didn't answer. He just said meteor crash and nothing more. They left eventually, but Sam knew they'd be watching. He didn't care. He had more important things to protect. At night, when the sky was clear, he could see new stars, bright blue ones that hadn't been there before. Gorth's people, maybe, a signal, a promise. Lily sat beside him on the porch of what used to be their home, wrapped in a blanket. "Do you think they can see us, Daddy?" Sam nodded. "Yeah, I think they're watching." And smiling, she leaned her head on his shoulder. "You're like a superhero now." He chuckled softly. "No, I'm just your dad who got very, very lucky." Weeks later, strange things began to happen. Machines near Sam started reacting when he walked by. Phones flickered. Lights hummed and engines started without keys. The core was alive in him, whispering quietly, helping him understand things beyond human knowledge. He could hear it sometimes, a soft voice, calm and ancient. "You are the bridge now, Sam Walker. Between your kind and mine." He didn't speak back. He just listened. The world didn't know it yet, but something had changed forever. The Vorn were gone for now, but the stars were watching Earth again. And in the shadows of the universe, stories were spreading, of a human who faced the stars and didn't bow. One night, Sam stood at the edge of the forest holding Lily's hand. The moon was full. The wind was quiet. He whispered, "Do you hear that?" She listened carefully. "It's like singing," Sam smiled. "It's the stars. They're telling stories." "What kind of stories?" "The kind where one small person changes everything." She smiled sleepily. "Like you." He looked at her and then at the sky where a faint blue symbol shimmered among the stars. The mark of Gorth's people. "No," he said softly. "Like us." As they walked back toward their rebuilt cabin, the ground beneath them glowed faintly blue and alive. The cube's energy pulsed once more, syncing with Sam's heart, steady, strong, eternal. Far beyond Earth, in the cold dark of space, the Vorn Empire stirred, whispering in fury about the human who broke destiny. And among the free worlds, the story spread and whispered by alien travelers, sung by lost colonies. A single human dad faced the stars, and the universe changed forever. The end.